Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Chinwendo, and today I want to talk about self-acceptance. So in 2019, when I started my journey of healing, intentional journey of healing or intentional living, one of the inner states I came into is self-acceptance. Before then, I didn't know what self-acceptance was. So, but one day it just dawned on me that I've been hard on myself so much that I have been, that why will I be trying to strive after some levels of standards of perfection out there? Why will I be so hard on myself? So it just dawned on me that day that this is me, I am showing this is me. I'm not going to become another person, and if I'm created the way I am, then I'm enough. I'm just enough the way I am. It just dawned on me that day. And that's how self-acceptance happened to me. I just accepted myself totally, completely the way I am. So that's why I define self-acceptance as being at home with yourself, the totality of who you are without judgment or criticism. So it is very, very, very an important aspect of living your authentic life. You know, I talk about living your authentic life so much and everything around that. So if you love this kind of content, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, liking this content, and also sharing it. So let's go into it. So as I said, self-acceptance is being at home with the totality of who you are, both the ones we call good and the ones we call bad, your weaknesses and your strength, being at home with everything, even those parts of you that you don't like, accepting everything. And this is that when that happened to me, it's changed my life completely. Something shifted inside of me, and I came into tremendous freedom, a level of freedom I have never experienced in my life before. I never knew that level of freedom existed, and because of that freedom, I was able to step into living my authentic life. You know, it's easy to say live your authentic life, live your authentic life. It takes a lot of courage to do that. It takes a lot of courage to actually step out of the box that we have all been placed. It takes a lot of courage to begin to blaze your trail or trail your blaze, whatever, and live just your own life, not without the whole societal unwritten codes of living. It takes a lot of courage to do that. But what will give you a lot of courage to do that is self-acceptance. So it will give you the freedom to truly be yourself without fear of being judged or criticized. Of course, you may be judged, you may be criticized. So, but when you're completely free like that, when you're completely at home with yourself, you are you are you are comfortable in your own skin, then those criticisms will not affect you at all. So that was what I discovered that 2019, and that has set from that self-acceptance. It was easy for me to start falling in love with myself. It just a kind of laid the foundation for other things that happened to me. From then I started feeling whole. I fell in love with myself and all that. So it is the most profound thing that can happen to anybody if you're living your authentic, if you are living an intentional life, trying to live your most authentic life. So accepting yourself is one of the things you will consider. Now, you are not accepting yourself because you are perfect. You are not accepting yourself because you're perfect. You're not accepting yourself because you have arrived. Of course, there is, I do not subscribe to all this perfection thing, because by whose standard is perfection determined? So if you look at it that way, you will see that what perfection is how you are. So you don't have to begin to subscribe to another person's definition of perfection. because when you do that, it takes a lot of work to do that. It takes a lot of work to do that. So that I wrote in this book, Guides to Authentic Living. I wrote a lot of things about self-acceptance and all that there. You may consider getting it. It is on Amazon, though the e-copy. Or if you are here in Nigeria, you can check it out. I'll leave the link below in the description box below, so you can get it from my website, and it is also on seller. Thank you. So, as I was saying, self-acceptance is what it to me it laid the foundation for every other thing that started happening to me. Like, I started feeling whole. Wholeness is a state of an inner state of feeling complete without wanting anything. Because why that has to happen is that self-acceptance helps you to gather yourself together. You have accepted all the parts of you that you have been loathing, you have hated for a very long time. You accepted everything, even the parts of you that people said is bad and all that. You have accepted everything because that's who you are. That's what makes you unique. Now, when you accept yourself, it's not passivity. You're not a kind of accepting yourself and that's it. You accepting yourself helps you to grow from self-love. You're not growing because you hate that part of you. You are growing as since I accepted myself, my healing journey becomes something like self-care. I see it as self-care. You are growing because you love yourself. From point of self-love, you are becoming a better version of yourself. You are creating yourself, the grandest version of yourself at any given time, recreating yourself, the best version of yourself all the time. So this is what self-acceptance will help you do. So it will help you forgive yourself, help you have approach your life from point of compassion, point of love, point of self-respect, point of forgiveness. Forgiveness, sometimes we always talk about forgiving others. We don't always talk about forgiving ourselves. So you have to truly forgive yourself of the mistakes you may have made. Maybe you are feeling guilty of something that you did years ago. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself, because if there is nothing you can do about the situation, you have to forgive yourself and move on. But if there is something you can do about it, you may consider doing that and still forgive yourself and move on. So this is why self-acceptance is very, very, very important. So for you to forgive yourself, you may, that day I just told you the discussion I had with myself and how it dawned on me that I have to forgive myself. But there are some things you can consider if accepting yourself is not easy for you that way, the way it happened to me. You may consider, as I said earlier, forgiving yourself of the things you may have done to people or to yourself, or some mistakes you may have made, that you're just berating yourself. Sometimes we just keep berating ourselves over our past mistakes and all that. So this, you may need to forgive you. In fact, you have to forgive yourself and move on. Then another thing is to accept whatever it is in your life that you cannot do anything about. Whatever you cannot change, you just have to accept it. Then the next thing is start treating yourself with compassion and with more love, more grace. You don't have another person but yourself. Then another thing you may need to know is that you are a masterpiece. Just the way you are a masterpiece. Take it from me. You are a magnificent being. There is nobody like you. This is not to say that you are superior or inferior to another person, but from the point of uniqueness, you are. Do you know who you are? You are divine emanation of God. So you are a very, very special and an important person of the whole, the totality of the whole. So you don't have anything to look down on yourself for. So this is why you need to accept yourself. So accepting yourself, what are the benefits? So when I stepped into that self-acceptance. That was when I was able to fall in love with myself. So another thing that helped me to step into self-acceptance is because I have already started living an intentional life. So I was practicing self-awareness, knowing myself, getting to know myself. I always sit down with myself and journal a lot of things that I'm noticing about myself. So with that, I grew in self-knowledge of myself. I started that journey that time with meeting myself afresh and becoming my own friend. So always having conversation with myself and all that through self-reflection. So when you read my book, you will see how I outline it, that how self-reflection will help you become more self-aware, how self-awareness will help you become more have more self-knowledge, and then how self-knowledge will help you accept yourself, because now you have seen that despite all the things people say about you, you have seen that those are points of your uniqueness. This is a point you know, nothing is really in a particular way. We give things meaning. Other people may see a particular thing that is very, very special about you and call it something else. It is left for you to believe what they are calling it, or you can call it what it is, or what you want it to be, and accept it. So self-knowledge is another thing that will help you really accept yourself totally. So I'm talking about the benefits of self-acceptance. So self-love is one of the benefits. Then self-confidence. So before then, I was someone that lived my life in a very I approach life beggarly. I approach life in a weak way, because I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I lacked self-confidence and self-esteem. So what accepting myself helped me was, it gave me the courage, the freedom to truly be bold and be self-confident, and approach things more boldly than I used to. And that's one of the things it helped me do. It's really helped me step into my personal power. And where I needed to heal most was in my third chakra. If you know anything about chakras, they are energy centers that are within us, through which evolution happens. So I needed to heal first and foremost in my third chakra, which is the energy center that is associated with self-acceptance, self-confidence, self as a whole, and personal power and all that. So I needed to heal there. So if you're like me, then that you approach life beggarly, you approach life in a very weak way, you can assert yourself, you are like a doormat, everybody matches and pass, you cannot really stand up for yourself boldly. You don't you can really make decision and stand by it. When someone comments on your decision, you begin to doubt yourself. You're always doubting yourself. You're always doubting your worth and all that. So you need this self-acceptance. That was how I was then, but now self-acceptance have helped me to own my life totally, that I can now do a lot of things that I was not able to do before, and all that. Begin to move out of fear, and the normal level of fear that hold us back and all that. So before now, I wouldn't have been able to sit behind this camera and talk about anything at all, even if I know everything much about the topic. But now I can do it because of this thing I'm telling you. So self-acceptance will help you step into self-confidence. It will help you deal with whatever that has to do with self-esteem, self-confidence, self-love, and it will help you embrace your individuality. Embracing your individuality does not mean separation consciousness. It means embracing what makes you unique. There is nothing there is nothing bad about embracing your uniqueness or feeling that you are even special to an extent. But what you don't have to, you may need to look at is if there is a feeling of superiority or inferiority associated with that. That's what may begin to make it unhealthy for you. So you need to embrace your individuality, embrace your uniqueness, and embrace your sovereignty as a self-authoring human being. You are a self-authoring human being. That is why you need to remember who you are and step into your authentic life and embrace your authentic self and live your authentic life. One of the steps I talked about in this book is self-acceptance. It's one of the steps to remember who you are. So when you accept yourself, it's not you have even done the greater part of the work to remember who you are. So when you remember who you truly are, that divine being that you are, that part of you that has always been, that will always be, that divine part of you, that part, your God self, which I call your authentic self. So when you discover that part of you, it is a game changer. Your life will totally change. So self-acceptance helps you to discover that part of you and begin to live your life fully, totally the way you have been created to live, in freedom, in it is a journey. It is a journey. It is not really about an end you're trying to reach. It is really a journey. The beauty of life's journey is in the process, in this everyday life of becoming. So that's the beauty. So when you're able to find simplicity in the everyday life, you'll be happy always. So that is what self-acceptance is about. So to me, it helped me tremendously. That was the major shift, what helped me majorly in my healing journey. So that's why I decided to share with you guys today. Perhaps there is one person it will at least help in their healing journey too. So that will be all for today. Please, if you like this content, do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of contents like this, and consider liking the content, commenting, and also sharing it. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next time.